Good morning, good morning, good morning, Moonhaven Falls! And oh, what a beautiful, loud, noisy, wonderful morning this is! Just take a moment, right now, wherever you are, whether you're huddled under your blankets or stoking the morning fire, just stop and listen. Do you hear that? That is the sound of the tea kettle whistling. That is the sound of the neighbor's rooster currently making up for 3 days of lost time. And most importantly, that is the sound of me. And I have never been so happy to hear my own voice. I'm sure my producers would say that's really saying something, but for the first time in nearly a month, those dead zones have been lifted. The silence that has sat over our streets like a heavy, frozen shroud has been tucked away. And the Crystal Network is once again broadcasting at full, glorious volume. I don't mind telling you, it has been a tense couple of weeks, whispering into the crystal, wondering if our words are being eaten by invisible cats. It's a very peculiar kind of stress. I wouldn't wish it on anyone, not even our legalistic friends over on the other side of the bridges back when they were still here, but our guests of silence have officially checked out of Moonhaven Falls Resort. As our resident expert, Alara Meadowlight, suspected, and as Gary rumbled from his caves, this midwinter descent from the Serpent's Tooth was not an invasion. It turns out it was a nursery run. At the crack of dawn today, just as the first light hit the peaks of the Dragon Spine, the procession began. Now, I was up on the station balcony with my binoculars, and folks, it was a sight for the ages. The adult Sleetstalkers, those massive, violent, glowing queens of the mountain, they didn't look like the terrifying phantoms they were 3 nights ago. They looked like satisfied mothers. They trotted through the west gate with a certain swagger, their hides pulsing with a deep indigo light, saturated to the brim with our town's chatter, our music, and of course that delicious 70-degree heat from the magical fountain. But the real stars of the show? The Sleet Kits. Oh, Moonhaven, they were precious. Each female was trailed by 2 to 3 tiny little wobbling balls of translucent fluff. Imagine a kitten, made of frosted glass, no bigger than a loaf of bread, with paws that left tiny little frozen stars on the cobblestones. They haven't quite mastered the audivore silence yet, so they tumbled over each other. They made sounds, like 100 tiny muffled little silver bells ringing inside of a wool sock, enough to melt a person's heart, even if they were simultaneously freezing the puddles around them solid. One little kid actually got distracted by a merchant's bell near the square, just sat there staring at the bell, pulsing a bright neon pink every time it rang, until his mother had to come back and grab it by the scruff and drag it to the bridge. I think it's safe to say we've helped raise the next generation of mountain predators, and we've sent them back to the Serpent's Tooth fat, content, and hopefully very, very full of our local gossip. If those kits grow up thinking all humans sound like the Crystal Network Morning Report, well, I guess we've done our jobs. Down at the square, the quiet zones have completely evaporated. Our Dragon Gift Fountain is back to its balmy, steam-filled glory, and the Kids Club is already back at work. As a matter of fact, I think I see Timmy down there now as well. They have discovered that the lingering cold residue in the shadow makes for a particularly sturdy type of snow fort, and Timmy reported to me earlier that apparently, if you pack the fountain snow while standing in an old Sleetstalker napping spot, the snow takes on the flavor of whatever the Sleetstalker was eating. So, if you've ever wanted to try heated discussion, silver bells, mother's lullaby, or even Audrick's voice, now is the time. So, to our departing feline friends, thank you for not actually eating us. We do hope you enjoy the high-altitude silence of the Serpent's Tooth, and we hope those kits grow up big and strong. But just maybe skip us next mating season, huh? My vocal cords need a rest, and Barnaby is still trying to figure out why his favorite reading chair appears to be permanently chilled to 30 degrees. To the rest of you, keep those crystals tuned right here to the network for a full day of sound-rich programming. We have a backlog of missed birthdays, anniversaries, and lost and found ads to get through. It's good to be heard again, Moonhaven. It's very, very good to be heard.
Greetings, Seekers of Destiny, and welcome once more to the Arcane Whispers of Alara Meadowlight. 2 more weeks have been noted in the Eternal Edict, bringing us closer to the heart of the Great Weave, since the humble rabbit revealed its rare fortune by consuming the 4-leaf clover. 26 weeks now stand between us and the Phoenix's initial fiery ascent. a journey marked by escalating magic and profound signs. Today, the very air around Moonhaven Falls shimmers with a new and constant wonder, a testament to the powerful energies now active. For at the very base of the Moonhaven Falls, arcing gracefully over the luminous, humming waters, a single, shimmering, empowered rainbow has appeared. This is no fleeting arch born of sun and spray. It remains steadfast, its vibrant hues seeming to solidify into faint colored motes of power that dance in the air. It does not shift with the sun's passage, nor fade with the clouds. This instead is a beacon of pure, contained magic, a direct manifestation of the profound energies that have been awakening and stirring. It speaks of a powerful, stable, magical presence, a bridge between realms, a visible promise forged in the very heart of our enchanted land. Now, a special note on the empowered rainbow. The appearance of this enduring rainbow at the falls is an omen of stable, powerful magical presence, a heightened connection to other realms, a profound promise of balance and hope. Where previous omens hinted at the magic's stirring and active nature, this rainbow signifies its sustained and beautiful manifestation, a gateway that is now fixed. For all, this suggests a period where the extraordinary is becoming commonplace, where inspiration and clear pathways will abound, and where integration of the diverse energies will lead to lasting benefits. So step forward with hope, for the path ahead has been illuminated. For those of you born under the sign of the Whispering Willow, that is, mid-spring to early summer, the rainbow arches over your roots, promising a path of vibrant, sustained growth and inner harmony. The empowered rainbow signifies that your journey of growth and personal transformation is now blessed with a constant source of vibrant energy and balance. The intuitive blessings that you have received are now weaving into a sustained pattern of flourishing. This is a time to embrace all facets of your being, to connect deeply with the profound harmony now present, and to recognize the inherent beauty in your path. The murmuring of the Moonhaven Falls seems to sing in a perfect spectrum, advising you that enduring peace is to be found when all parts of you are in harmony. A multicolored thread woven into a simple fabric, or a feeling of complete, tranquil well-being could well be a token of your vibrant new state. For those of you born under the sign of the Soaring Griffin, that is, late summer to early autumn, the rainbow is a stable bridge, guiding your ascent with clear vision and access to diverse strengths. For you, the empowered rainbow is a powerful omen of your leadership and ambition. It signifies that the complexities you face now have a clear and illuminated path forward, and that your strategies may now draw upon the stable wellspring of diverse energies. It may even represent a literal or metaphorical bridge to new resources, new allies, or new understanding. This is a time to lead with clarity and vision, knowing that the forces you wield are now grounded in a powerful, harmonious reality. The distant roar of the falls now blends with a clear and resonant hum, advising you to pursue your goals with an unwavering focus to the path of victory, which is now visible for you. A lens that clarifies vision, or a map where a hidden path is clearly marked, could well signify your enhanced insight. For those of you born under the sign of the deepening mire, that is, mid-autumn to early winter, the rainbow illuminates the deepest truths, revealing their intricate beauty and eternal balance. The profound truth that you have been uncovering is now presented in its full and harmonious spectrum. The empowered rainbow signifies that the mysteries you seek are not just revealed, but are understood in their complete and balanced form, showing how light and shadow, life and death, all contribute to a beautiful whole. This is a time for a deep, intuitive understanding, for seeing the interconnectedness of all knowledge, and for appreciating the inherent balance within the universe. The slow, persistent trickle of the falls seems to flow with a crystalline clarity, reminding you that true wisdom integrates all colors of existence. A smooth, reflective surface that shows many colors, or a sudden profound realization of interconnectedness could be the key to your ultimate understanding. For those of you born under the sign of the frozen hearth, that is, late winter to early spring, the rainbow crowns your rebirth, a vibrant promise of enduring strength and a boundless possibility. Your magnificent rebirth, now infused with the fall's living magic, is celebrated and anchored by this enduring rainbow. It signifies that your transformation is not just complete, but has been blessed with a constant source of vibrant energy and an unyielding hope. This is the time to stand proudly in your newfound power, knowing that your resilience is a beacon and that your path ahead is filled with boundless possibilities. The rainbow is a promise that your strength will be continuous, that your future is bright, and the steady flow of the falls, even now in its winter embrace, cascades with a timeless, vibrant glow, speaking of a spirit that is eternally renewed, radiantly powerful. A piece of jewelry that catches and refracts the light into many colors, or a feeling of constant, vibrant energy, could be a testament to your radiant future. Remember that these are but whispers from the cosmic currents, glimpses of what may be. The choices that you make, the actions that you take, these are the true shapers of your destiny. And may the light of the moon guide your path, and may your journey be filled with discovery and fortune, especially as the empowered rainbow shines its eternal promise over Moonhaven Falls. This has been Alara Meadowlight with your Omen Outcast.
Good afternoon to you, oh justicars and judges. A formal greeting to the tacksmen and cobblers, a jaunty salute to the merchants, the guardsmen, and my fellow citizens from all walks of life here in the Lost Realms. Welcome back to Crossroads Chronicles, the show that brings you tales of bravery, unexpected turns, and the incredible individuals who shape the Lost Realms. Today, we are honored to have a guest who stands head and shoulders above the rest, quite literally speaking. We are speaking with the newest recruit of the esteemed Moonhaven Guard, a towering figure who has chosen a path of service. So please, give a thunderous welcome to Groknir Cloudstrider, a storm giant who has joined the ranks.
Greetings, citizens. It is an honor to be here.
Groknir, your decision to join the Moonhaven Guard has sent ripples through the city. It's not every day we see a storm giant walking the beat, after all. What inspired this monumental change in your life?
Well, for generations, my kin have focused on the skies, on the dance of the lightning and the whisper of the wind. Our duties have traditionally been, grander, perhaps, in scale, but my heart yearned for a different purpose, one a bit closer to the ground, among these, the folk who truly need my protection.
And I'm given to understand that one of the previous episodes of Crossroads Chronicles played a part in this decision?
Indeed it did. I was listening to your broadcast, a fascinating way to understand the lesser folk, and I heard a story of an elvish princess. She had abandoned her royal duties and her expected path to establish a discreet bodyguard service for those in need of skilled protection.
Ah, yes. Princess Lyra Moonwhisper, I believe. A tale of duty redefined and purpose found beyond the gilded cages of royalty. Her silent sentinels are quite renowned.
Exactly. Here was a being of significant standing, expected to rule and command from afar, choosing instead to stand between danger and those that she protected. She sought out direct engagement, personal responsibility for the safety of others, even those who might not publicly acknowledge her service.
And how did that resonate with you? A storm giant with immense power and a very different societal structure.
We storm giants are protectors of the sky, arbiters of the weather, often guardians of ancient lore, but Lyra's story, it highlighted a more immediate and grounded form of guardianship. Her courage to step away from expectations and dedicate herself to the immediate physical protection of individuals, regardless of their station. It struck a chord within me, like a bolt from the sky. It showed me that true strength isn't just in grand pronouncements or celestial domination, but in the willingness to stand vigil, to intercede, to be the needed shield.
So, an elvish princess starting a secret security business led to a storm giant joining the city watch? That's quite the connection.
Perhaps. But Princess Lyra's dedication to the direct, personal protection of others, even in the shadows, gave me the courage to step out of my own traditional mists and here into the streets of Moonhaven. Her story was the thunderclap that cleared my skies, that showed me a new path to true service.
And how does your family feel about this?
My father merely scoffed, but said that a few decades working with the lesser beings would surely clear my mind. My mother merely wishes for me to be as safe as possible while doing good deeds.
What a powerful presence you're bringing to the guard, Groknir. Your very presence must be a deterrent to many of the less lawfully inclined. What message do you hope your presence in the Moonhaven Guard sends to the citizens?
That protection comes in many forms, that even the greatest of beings can find purpose in the smallest of duties, and that courage is not merely the absence of fear, but the decision to act in the service of others, no matter how humble that service may appear. Just as a royal elf can find purpose in guarding a merchant, so too can a storm giant find honor in patrolling these streets.
That was wonderfully said, Groknir, and you've truly shown us inspiration can be found in the most surprising corner of the realms, and that heroes come in all shapes and sizes. Groknir Cloudstrider, thank you so much for sharing your incredible story with us here on Crossroads Chronicles, and we wish you steadfast patrols and peaceful skies.
The pleasure was mine. May your own paths be ever vigilant.
And that was the truly awe-inspiring Groknir Cloudstrider. Don't go anywhere, folks. You are listening to the Crystal Network here in Moonhaven Falls. Good afternoon, Moonhaven Falls. Audrick Cashmere here, dodging particularly aggressive carts of oversized cabbages to bring you the latest from the town's most popular reading material, the Green Unicorn's Quest Board. The parchment is fresh, the ink is barely dry, and I can just smell the adventure. Or maybe that's the nearby stable. But let's see what needs doing in the realm this week. We have opportunities for the lone wolves, the budding adventuring parties, and those brave or foolish enough to tackle the truly strange. Here on Adventurer's Call. First up, we got a couple of easy quests. Solo work, this is just some quick gold. Job title for the first one here is the Constant Snow Shoveler. Reward is 20 gold a day. The breakdown is that since the fountain has started producing that peculiar packing snow that refuses to melt, the town square is becoming a bit of a hazard. The kids club has been having a field day. Unfortunately, the merchant stalls are starting to get buried. Best class for this one, probably a barbarian. Not really a job for a rapier. It's a job for raw, unbridled power. A barbarian can move mountains of magical slush without even breaking a sweat, and their high constitution means they won't catch a chill from the enchanted frost. Up next here, a divination transcriptionist. Reward, 45 gold, will take approximately an hour and a half. Looks like Alara Meadowlight is currently planning to go into a deep trance. Her visions have been coming faster than she can write them down, and she would like someone to sit in the sanctum and record every muttered word regarding shifting stars and impending dampness. Best class for this one, mage of some kind, possibly a bard. You want someone with good history skill and, most importantly, a fast hand. A bard's appreciation for the dramatic would also ensure they don't miss a single poetic nuance for Alara's prophecies, and they're far less likely to be spooked by the occasional floating tea kettle. Moving up a little bit here, some medium quests. This one looks like it would require a bit of teamwork. Let's see. Relocate the Singing Stones. Reward, 250 gold pieces. It would appear that there is a cluster of stones near the Dragonspine foothills that have started emitting a high-pitched operatic hum, and it has been keeping some of the locals awake. They need to be removed to a more remote ravine without being shattered, because apparently they tried that already, and shattering them only makes the volume worse. I'm guessing you're going to want 2, maybe 3 people for this one. Definitely somebody who's strength-based, paladin, fighter, maybe a barbarian, someone willing to physically haul the singing boulders using brute strength or possibly a specialized harness. You're probably going to want a spellcaster, someone with silence, maybe levitate, just to dampen the sonic vibration so the party doesn't go deaf during transport. Maybe lighten the load over rocky terrain. Also probably wouldn't hurt to have a druid or a ranger with you just to scout the path ahead, clear out any obstacles, make sure you're not about to wake up any ancient horrors when you drop the stones in the ravine. Moving on a little bit here. Oh, here's a good one. The Shadowfen Botanical Expedition. Reward is 400 gold pieces plus 2 healing potions, which is very lucrative, especially considering it appears to just be an alchemist who's looking for a rare gloom lily, which only grows near the ruins in the Shadowfen. Swamp will be thick, the air will be heavy, local wildlife has a tendency to blend into the mud and is a bit on the aggressive side. I would say you could probably get away with 2, but again, I'd go for 3. Definitely a scout of some kind, possibly a rogue, maybe a ranger or a druid again, just to navigate the treacherous mire, identify correct flora while avoiding quicksand. I would go for like a support or a healer maybe, cleric or druid, just someone to neutralize the inevitable swamp fever or any venomous stings from the local insects, maybe ward them off even, and then a defender of some kind, maybe monk or a fighter, just to keep the swamp lurkers at bay while the botanist works. Make sure nothing sneaks up on you, someone with good perception. Oh dear, is that what's going on? Looks like we got a fairly challenging one here. I'm guessing you're going to want a full party. This sounds kind of high risk. Job title is effectively Operation Horizon Watch. The reward is currently listed as 3,000 gold pieces plus a commendation from Alara Vancroft, the town guard captain here. The breakdown is that the ground isn't just shaking out on the edges of Moonhaven proper, it's rhythmically thumping. Reports are coming in from the farther reaches of the Serpent's Tooth, suggesting a localized moving mountain is trending south-southeast. That means it's currently directly heading toward Bahamut's Plateau, and, if it maintains its pace, Moonhaven Falls is probably less than a week from a literal weighty problem. We don't need heroes to kill this one. We're not even sure if it can be killed. They're not totally certain what it is at the moment. What they need is eyes on it. This will likely be a full party problem. Navigating the approaches, especially up in the mountains, is just an absolute nightmare. As the target moves, it's going to get even worse because of the sheer displacement of Earth, which is apparently causing localized landslides, uprooting some fairly ancient trees. I would say definitely druid or a ranger, just to get the word in from the local wildlife here for a druid. Ranger definitely to track the wake of the creature, scout out ahead, maybe pick off anything that might be following in its wake. We're not talking just a big animal here. We're talking a magical anomaly. The closer you get to these things, the greater the sheer magical gravity of the entity tends to become, if this is one of the several things that possibly could be in my mind here. If it's one of the magically powerful ones, I mean, it tends to kind of warp reality near it. Spells could misfire. Non-magical gear can feel heavier. Probably a wizard or a sorcerer. Just to, maintain a circle of protection type of thing. Maybe like a protection against Fey or good and evil, depending on what you end up encountering. Possibly even something using Dispel Magic if there's a lot of wild magic in the area that could be causing random effects, just to keep the party, looking like they're supposed to. To get the data that Lord Kendrick would need, the party will need to probably scale a nearby peak, maybe even scale the creature itself if you can. There's a note here saying anyone brave enough will get a bonus if they can plant a magical beacon on the creature. It will likely require a rogue or a monk to do something like that, though, because you're talking high-altitude acrobatics while the rest of the party defends them from parasitic scavengers. Apparently, there's a note that there have been several smaller winged horrors that seem to be roosting in the crags on the creature's back, like fleas on a dog. Honestly, they aren't calling it a hunt, they're calling it a study, but between you and me, when something is big enough to leave footprints the size of our town square, you don't study it, you pray it doesn't notice you. So I guess if you've got the nerves to stare down a walking apocalypse and live to tell the tale, Alara's waiting for you at the guard post. Well, folks, this is what separates the villagers from the adventurers. Whether you're a cleric charging in to smite your opponent or a druid redirecting a migration away from a village, the call has a job for you. This is Audrick Cashmere, and you're listening to the Crystal Network here in Moonhaven Falls. Good evening, Moonhaven Falls. I would like to conclude today's broadcast by just admiring the view of the Dragonspine Mountains out to the east, but frankly, I'm now too busy checking my own pockets to see if my pocket watch is still there. It has been nearly 2 weeks since our mystery thief first sampled Mrs. Gable's preserves, and what began as a petty nuisance has evolved into a full-scale, targeted campaign of larceny. This is not just a hungry traveler anymore, friends. Oh, no. This is a thief with a taste for the finer things, and a worrisome amount of theatrical flair. I received a letter earlier this afternoon that 2 nights ago the thief gained access to the dormitory of our local mage, Alara Meadowlight. Now, you would think that a tower full of diviners and sorcerers would be the last place that any sane burglar would want to visit, but this phantom managed to bypass the outer wards and absconded with every single set of formal silk robes belonging to Alara's senior apprentices. The thief only fled when they attempted to breach Alara's private sanctum, triggering a screaming sigil that woke half the district. By the time Alara Vancroft and the town guard arrived, the only thing left was an open window and a series of rather confused apprentices standing about in their undertunics. But the audacity did not stop there. Our local mayor woke up yesterday to find his entire wardrobe was intact but utterly ruined. Every single silver button from every single formal coat and waistband had been meticulously clipped off. The rascal didn't even take the silk. To leave the clothes behind, according to the mayor, is a statement of pure, unfashionable spite. And most concerning of all, the Gilded Grasp jewelry shop. Their high security wards, magic that we were told was unbeatable, appears to have been deactivated from the inside. The front door was found unlocked from the interior this morning, and an entire display case of rings and necklaces is just gone, including several pieces wrought with ghost steel and that legendary fire opal brooch we all admired during the winter gala. Alara Vancroft is currently questioning everyone at the bridges, but there isn't a trace. No one is crossing the Moonhaven Falls river paths with sacks of gold. It's as though the thief is a ghost, or a very talented bird. You might want to keep your shutters barred and double-check those security seals. Stay safe, Moonhaven. This is Audrick Cashmere with the Crystal Network. Thank you for a moment of your time, my lords and ladies. This concludes our episode of the week. We release a new episode every Tuesday morning at 5 a.m. Eastern, and I hope you found this podcast to be amusing, creative, and genuine. If you did, I would appreciate it if you would subscribe to the channel or follow the podcast, maybe even take a moment to rate the podcast and share it with a friend or community, as well as stopping by our Facebook or Patreon page to let me know what your favorite segment is. It's a simple, easy action. It lets the algorithm know that you listen to and want to continue hearing these stories. Please keep in mind that I personally write, edit, and produce all of the content for this show, with the occasional guest appearance from my wife and children. So, if you want to send Timmy a cup of cocoa, or me a cup of coffee, as encouragement to continue creating it, well, we gratefully accept. Thank you to all of our supporters, especially the increasing number of you who have reached out to tell me your favorite segments. My family and I genuinely appreciate all of you showing your support by tuning in every week, and we would like to thank you for continuing to do so. We look forward to seeing you in the comments, and we hope you tune in again next week.